Hello, my friend, and welcome to another installment of Curriculum Picks. My name is Kaylin, and this video is going to be the things I have picked out for my 6th graders' grade level work. If you're looking for history, science, all of those like family school type subjects, I did a separate video for that, so make sure you look at what those subjects are going to look like and the curriculum I picked for that. This particular one is going to include English, math, spelling, geography, all the other stuff. So if you want to know what I picked for this year, let's go ahead and get started. All right. I have a 6th grader this year. It is wild, but very, very fun. So we have, in my brain, we've started middle school. In the state that I live in, they have junior high and pre-high. I don't know. They have 6th grade, I think, is still elementary school. Junior high, they have another, anyway, whatever it is, he's not in junior high yet. But for me, when I went to school in California, middle school was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So I have an official middle schooler in my school. So that's kind of fun. And I have noticed, or I feel like the older the kids get, the less content there is on YouTube for those grade levels. So this 6th grade curriculum pick video is going to join the many that are here on the YouTube platform. And hopefully, as years go by, the content for these upper grade levels will be more robust for all of the homeschoolers that are coming behind us, right? So by the time that my youngest is a 6th grader, then I'll have lots of good ideas and encouragement from all of you out there. So all right, I got a big stack here, so we're just going to go from top to bottom in no particular order. First and foremost, we're going to talk about science. Now, science is a family school subject in our home. All of my kids participate in science, and I spoke about it in my other videos, but we're going to be doing space this year. In addition to that, I am going to do maturation and sexual reproduction with my oldest only. And this is the good and the beautiful. So I got the curriculum manual and the student workbook journal. And it's not even out of the cellophane yet. I haven't even opened it, but I'm hopeful that this is going to be a good curriculum to use. I have heard good reviews about it from YouTube and from personal friends. So I think it's going to be a good overview, introduction, springboard to have these kinds of conversations with my oldest. And I'm not a fan of the good and the beautiful, generally speaking, but I always go back to them because I want to love them. I feel like they give really good, foundational concepts, but without fail, to this day, I still end up building upon what they provide. So I'm hoping it'll be enough. And alongside, of course, just parent conversations, this is what we're going to do for that. Okay, let's talk about English. So we have, I'm going to say, kind of do a little retrospecting right here. In the beginning of the year, which I wasn't doing my YouTube videos when we started school in September this year, we started with Christian Light Education, reading 5. Because I hadn't exactly decided what I wanted to do with him. And we did this kind of at the end of the last school year during the summer. I had some extra pages. So anyway, we dove into this and I really do like it. It comes with a reader. This is the reading 5. Now, if you go to look at their website, they do have a language arts book as well. So that's going to be something different than what I have here. This is just the reading curriculum. And I liked it because in addition to reading and literacy understanding, they did include vocabulary. He had to write, answer the question. So it did have handwriting. It has just kind of like critical thinking. Like this particular one is like, how does your actions, what are the consequences to your actions? It is Bible, so it'll like give you a Bible verse, that sort of thing. So anyway, and it does require that the student actually read the text. A lot of times my son didn't want to read the text and he would try to like guess the answers. The stories themselves, you can see this is the font size. They are good little stories. A handful of pages, maybe like 6 pages of this size. And I don't know, like I thought that they were okay, but my 6th grader did not love reading them. And so consequently, he wouldn't read them, and then he couldn't answer the questions. So in the end, we ended up putting this to the side. We didn't even finish the unit, and we picked up BJU Press English 6. So I only got the student, I got the student book and the teacher's manual because I don't consider myself a very strong English teacher. I know the basics, but I don't know how to write a course of English. If you ask me to write a history course, I got it. If you want me to write a science course, I can figure that out. But English is one of my weakest course writing areas. And so I went ahead and bought this book and the teacher's manual. And the teacher's manual I have used. It's been helpful. My comment on English in general is a confusing subject for me because I feel like we learn pretty much the same thing over and over and over again. Like my daughter is doing 3rd grade English from BJU Press, and their classes are literally the same. So like first chapter is sentences. My daughter's 3rd grade, chapter 1 is sentences. Chapter 2, writing a personal narrative. My daughter's chapter 2, I think, was writing a poem with onomatopoeias or something. Anyway, chapter 3 is nouns. Chapter 4 is writing an editorial. Chapter 5 is verbs. Like, I just feel like there's not so much that you can learn about a verb. A verb is a verb. But we go through it anyway. The reason that I chose BJU Press over other curriculums was because I really liked how they alternated the chapters. One being like a language arts, subject that you have to learn, or like rule, I guess you could say. And then the other one being a writing. So, we wrote a personal narrative, and then we wrote an editorial, or persuasive essay, you could call it. So anyway, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I feel like the work pages are very doable. The class, I just sit and do it with my son one-on-one, and it only takes us like 15 minutes to get through a lesson. Sometimes we'll breeze through the lesson content and then just bump into the next lesson. So we'll end up doing 2 lessons in like 15 or 20 minutes. But let me just tell you after verbs. So you're going to do a couple of writing activities. Let me just tell you what those, is this distracting? Because it's distracting to me. I didn't even know the TV was on. I don't know if that'll make it better, but there we go. Okay. I think that was in my last video too, now that I think about it. Okay. Anyway, we've got verbs, writing instructions. So we're going to write an essay about like, how do you write instructions, right? Like how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You're going to write a research report, historical fiction, compare contrast essay, limerick and free verse, cover letter. So the writing portion are really intriguing, and I like that. And with the teacher's manual, it walks you through how to help your children construct those types of essays / writing pieces. So English 6, this is, again, the student manual. So you can kind of see. Now, a common question is, can I teach the course without the teacher's manual? And I've done it in the past. It is perfect. It is possible. You'll notice, for example, this lesson has this short little blurb at the top that you can use as a lesson, springboard. And then it just has your guided practice. So is it doable? Yes, it is. You don't have to have the teacher's manual. I do appreciate having it because, again, I don't consider myself a very strong English course writer or creator. So I just go with what they've already created. So that's that. And then we'll go with math. For math this year, I really toyed around a lot with what I wanted to do. And I ended up going with teaching textbooks level 6 again. We did teaching textbooks at the end of our year last year. And there's pros and cons to teaching textbooks. I like it because it is student-led, student-driven. So I don't have to be a part of the lesson necessarily, obviously if there's questions or what have you. But they go through the actual lesson and then they do the problems. My experience, my kids always do the lesson. I know that there is a complaint that kids have a way that they can work around the lesson and only do the work problems. And if that's the case, then, and if you're having a struggle with that, or if that's something that your kids are prone to doing and you're worried about that, then teaching textbooks may not be something that you want to look at. But my philosophy with math take it or leave it, like judge however you want to. But my philosophy with math is that we live in a day and age. Number one, everybody has a calculator in your pocket. So that's different. And number two, I am not opposed to my kids not knowing the answer and asking, like, how do you get this answer, right? By and large, I think that I was taught in school, don't ask, don't cheat, right? If your friend knows how to do the problem and you haven't done the problem before, like, you can't look and be like, hey, can you show me how to do that? Like, I don't know. I just feel like we live in a day and age where, like, if you don't know how to do it, just ask somebody to help you do it. Showing your work, like, that's not something that I'm really concerned about. I don't ever show my work when I do math. And if my son knows how to get to the end of the problem and has the right answer, I don't think it matters. My kid uses a calculator on his math problems all the time. He has done longhand. He knows how to do longhand, but I taught him longhand like in 3rd grade. So now that we're in 6th grade and he has to do a long division problem, like 27 divided by who knows what, 524. I'm like, or would it be 524 divided by 20, whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean? I'm like, just put it in the calculator. Like, it's not a big deal. So I am aware that there are pros and cons with teaching textbooks. I am aware that there are some ways to get around the lesson and just do the work and then maybe just get an A and not understand how to do the concept. I am aware of all of those things, but it also is working pretty well for my family. And I will say we did it half of the year last year, and now we're doing it this year. So we're about maybe 10 months into using teaching textbooks. And my oldest is kind of like disenchanted with it now, that he's kind of like, it's not as fun. He really liked the backgrounds and the characters and the animations and the stickers and the things that kind of make it a little bit fun. I love that it's not gamified. It really is just like a lesson and work. I love that it's colorful. Hello, like, do you know me? So I've really enjoyed it. If you haven't tried teaching textbooks before, they do have like sample lessons that you can try. I'm pretty sure that there's like a 5-day free trial that you can do a couple of days worth, just to kind of see. I've really enjoyed having it in our home. I even put my younger daughter on it. She's in 3rd grade now. So it's very affordable, comparatively speaking, with an online math program. So anyway, that's what we decided to do. I looked at a couple of other options, several other options, and hum and hawed about it for a month or more. And we just settled on teaching textbooks. So that's kind of a long roundabout way to say that. So, okay, I'm going to pop in and talk about this right here. So this year this is my kids' student tracker. Let me get to a blank page. Okay, so this is my children's student tracker. This one's the one that belongs to my son. So this year, more so than I've done in previous years, we have always tried to have, students' responsibility, having my kids be responsible for the work that they're doing. But this year, especially because he's in 6th grade, I wanted him to have his work that he has to be responsible for doing. Similar, I guess you could say, to the mindset of homework for a public school child. They have to come home, they have the work they need to complete at home and turn it in on a certain day. That's the kind of mentality and like responsibility I was trying to go for. So this is what I made. It's just a tracker, and I've listed their work that they need to do every day. So this is what we just went through together: his math, his reading, and then his English. So for reading, he just has to read like 20 or 30 minutes a day, whatever, depending on the day. And his PE class, he just has to go outside and or we have a couple of options that he does for that. Okay, so this is his grade level work. We just went over that. This next part of the video I want to go over is what we call his morning school and what he does before our school day starts. So our school day starts about 10 o'clock, I think, is what we've decided to have it start for sure. So my kids need to have specific activities and their morning work done by the time school starts. This is that list that helps them know what they need to do. And every day is a little bit different. We have co-op on Tuesdays. So I just wrote on here what I want them to accomplish on the day so that they can then, like this one, highlight as they go along. And then at the end of the week, I have them write, like this was the first week, so I wrote it. But then the next week and moving forward, I just have them write in what lesson numbers they're on and what they're doing. So anyway, this has been a really helpful resource. And as with all things, we were super strong in the beginning, kind of tapered off the closer we got to December. Now starting up in January again, we'll be sure to be really focused on making sure that we have our student tracker filled out and then mark off what's finished so that at the end of the week, the teacher can look and be like, okay, you did all of your work. So that's a fancy, fun little resource. And I kind of made it so like it's themed for what my kids like, and you'll see them as I pop them up in their videos. So, okay. So one of the things that we're doing for morning school is financial literacy. So this is an Evan Moore product. I got one for each of my children's grade levels. Financial literacy, this one is grades 6 through 8. And given the pace that we're going right now, we may have this through his 8th grade year. So we are not plowing through this 1 page per week like I thought we were going to, but it is a really fun approach to teaching financial literacy. Like it's genuine examples of when you would use a budget or how you would use shopping, know-how, or how to get a job, or different vocabularies, or how to buy things at the store, or how to use a bank or keep track of money. Anyway, it's just like genuine, smarts, like street smarts, I guess you could say, of how to use money and keep track of money and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, we do this, and I will say I wanted it to be independent, which is why we haven't been plowing through it as fast as I had intended, because I, as a review, believe that this is really more parent-led than I had intended it to be. A lot of Evan Moore products can be student-led, but I think that this is more teacher-led than I had intended. And I think there is a lot of teaching and discussions and examples and, that sort of thing that you need to be around for. So if it's a resource that you're looking to get, I'll put the description box below. I'll put the link exactly to this to help you find it. But it's fantastic. Just be aware that if you have multiple aged kids, you can't buy everybody their level and then teach everybody all at once. Like it kind of requires a little bit more one-on-one time. So I would put this, what I have done is I've moved this into his grade level work, and I try to hit it once. Well, I would love to hit it once a week, but we don't, let's be honest. So about once a month, we hit one of the lessons. So anyway, financial literacy, Evan Moore, that's been great. This is a fantastic resource. I highly recommend it. I purchased it on Amazon. I'm going to put a link in the box. And this is just my question journal. Every morning as a part of my kids' morning school, they answer the journal question, and they're just journal prompts is all they are. And you can have your kids draw a picture, and then you kind of dictate what it was that they drew, or you can have them write more sentences or a paragraph or nothing, whatever you want to do. But they're just really, really good journal prompts. And I have my kids do it every school day morning. They can do it whenever they want to. I have had them occasionally do it on the side, but this is fantastic. This is just made from another homeschool mama, and she has figured out how to distribute it via Amazon. So you are supporting a small shop if you choose to buy from her. She's got a bunch of different covers, but each cover is a different link. So I will, when I put it in the description box below, I'm going to have the link go to like an Amazon search page. So then, because I can't even remember the name of the lady who makes these. But anyway, then it'll pull up, and if you scroll down, all of the covers say My Question Journal, but with this font and everything. But then it'll have like a unicorn or a space theme or a dinosaur theme or a rainbow or whatever. There's lots of different fun things. So all of my kids have a different cover. I just picked it for them. So fantastic. If you're looking for a daily writing activity, journaling, whatever, I highly recommend My Question Journal. Okay. We are doing spelling this year. Better, I think, than I've ever done it in the past. Spelling is a really hard subject for my oldest because we just struggled in the beginning. You can go and see that storyline as it unfolds if you've got younger kids. But so we are doing a spelling. He has grade 4, and it's challenging for him. But essentially, I've tried to break it up into weeks or into each day. So like Monday, we just introduce the words. They practice them on the page, whatever the new week's words are. Let me see if I can show you. So it's your traditional, like, here's the list, practice to write it again. And then on Mondays, we try to do our spelling craft. This is an idea from the internet, Instagram. And she had her kids, another mama had her kids do a spelling craft every Monday with the spelling words because their kids love crafts. Well, my kids love crafts, so we started doing that this year. It is not as consistent as her. Mine is like maybe once a month we get a spelling craft in. I'm trying to be consistent, but my crafts typically correlate with either the season, the holiday, or the subject that we're studying at that time, either history or science. So it's a myriad of stuff. Pinterest is a really great resource for that. So, and then you just like figure out how to put words as a part of it. So for example, we're doing space next year. We could be doing constellations. I would have my kids write their word list, 1 per star, and then make a constellation, right? Okay. Then the next days, they're going to just do like the next pages. It's just your very like old school spelling curriculum. So you have like different activities, and there's 4 days worth of activities. And then 1 day is your, whatever it's called, your list. So it's built to be 5 days a week for 36 weeks of the year, probably 30. There's 30 weeks of lessons. So anyway, this is what we're doing for spelling. It's good. I'll do another review. I also, side note, I'll do a bigger review of this book, but this is an Evan Moore product. When you purchase it, there's 2 choices. You can purchase a teacher's manual, which is basically the same, but the pages are of higher quality and they're white for copying. And it will have like a lesson-ish type thing in the beginning. This is the student practice book. So this only has the work pages. I purchased the student practice book. It's only, I think it's half the price of the teacher's manual. And I don't ever look back. Like I would never use the teacher's manual. I think it's really, far more excessive than what you need. Okay. On the other hand, this is his daily geography book. And he does this 1 day a week, but he'll do the whole lesson in 1 day. This is built out to be daily geography, so you could do questions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But the questions are so simple. I think it's built to be like bell work in a public school, so it takes like, 3 to 5 minutes as the kids are coming into class kind of a situation. But I just say do it. Do the whole thing. So this is the teacher's manual. Just like the spelling guide or the spelling book, they have it that you can purchase just the student workbook, and it's about half the price. But for this particular one, I do get the teacher's manual because I will read through this part either with my kids or they'll just read it on their own before they jump to the actual map. I am pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but if you get the student guide alone, the map, I'm pretty sure the map will be in there, but I kind of want to say it's not. There's a chance it might not be. Let's put it that way, okay? And then the student guide will have these pages, similar in like not as sturdy a paper, kind of like that newspaper type paper, just because it's a lower quality because it's just the student workbook. So if you have multiple students in the same grade, then, or if you're teaching lots of your kids, like the older kids you're teaching down a grade or 2 and your little kids you're teaching up a grade or 2, then you can get them all student workbooks and save yourself the cost. But because all of my kids are in different grades, I just got the teacher's manual for them. And yes, it does have the answers on here on this side, answer key, right? So technically my kids know the answers, but I haven't had a problem. Like sometimes I'll cut this section off and most of the time I don't. So if you're concerned about your kids like looking at the answers and just filling it in, then be aware of that, okay? But essentially there's a map and then a bunch of questions. So it kind of teaches map reading more It's just geography. It's fantastic, and I really like it. So there's that. And then the last thing that I have is this handwriting book. This is the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. It is level 4. I like the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. Did you just hear me say I like the Good and the Beautiful? I know, right? Shocking, but I do like their handwriting. I also liked their library when they were making those cute little library books, which they don't make those anymore. But anyway, I like it because they always have this little like art section at the bottom or creative drawing. My son loves to draw and be creative, so this is a fun thing for him. This one is cursive, so that's why I chose grade 4 so that he could practice his cursive, and you know, it is what it is. But we are not very consistent with it. Again, my kids do it one day a week and barely that as it is. So we're not great at handwriting, but I am trying to introduce some cursive penmanship to my 6th graders. So there's that. Okay, we finished. That is the majority, if not everything, of my 6th graders' work this year. And finishing up, hopefully this is January through May. So what we did at the beginning of the year was a touch different, but we kind of are picking up here at the end. So anyway, and again, family school, the family school video will cover what he is going to be doing for history and unit studies and science. So if you're interested in those topics and the curriculum I chose for that, check the Eye in the Sky for that. And I think that's it. Thanks so much for checking into this video. If you like my channel, if you want to hear from me more often, if you like my content, consider subscribing and of course hit that bell so that you don't miss another video as they come out. Have a great one.